Stay tuned and let's take a look at the last Power Ranger we need to complete the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in Lightning Collection. It is, of course, the Black Ranger. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today we are taking a look at the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Black Ranger, and they saved the best Ranger to last, in my opinion. That was always my favourite growing up. He had the coolest weapon. It's an axe that's also a shotgun. So I'm very happy to finally have that, and we now have the completed Mighty Morphin team in Lightning Collection. It's the first full team we've got in regards to single releases throughout the waves, and it's the best team as well. Come on, let's be honest. Mighty Morphin are the OGs, and they still are the best. So nostalgic, and I'm very happy to finally have the team complete. I was patient. A lot of people were customizing the Dragon Shield version of the Black Ranger, but I was patient, and my patience has paid off. So let's get him open. Today is the day. So then we get Zach in the box. We'll talk about that hairstyle when we get to it, but he does have his weapons, which I like, and I always like the packaging as well. It's very smart, very sleek, and if you're like me, you buy 2 of these figures, then you can always line up the packaging like that to complete the shield, the whole helmet, sorry, on the front of the packaging, which makes for a nice display. One to open, one to display. That's what I say. I'm a poet and I didn't know it, but there he is in the packaging, looking nice. Box art looks good, no wave association, no bio, nothing like that. We just get a little promo image of Zach with his weapon and the blast effect that also comes in the box. It's hidden behind his helmet, I believe. So without further ado, let's get him open. Here we have Zach out of the packaging with all of his accessories. So we're getting a different kind of blast effect to the previous one we've got already with the Dragon Shield, which I like. We get his famous axe shotgun, which I like. We're getting a new accessory, which is the Dagger version of the gun. So now we're getting the Dagger and the gun. So I don't think we've got this before from the Mighty Morphin figures. I could be wrong, but I think that's new, which I like. We're getting an interchangeable set of fisted hands, and then we're also getting this controversial unmasked head. And I say controversial because it's meant to represent Zach with the short dreadlocks, but it just sort of looks like a choppy haircut. It doesn't really look like dreadlocks at all, so it's a shame. But I do appreciate they've given us a different style hair to the flat top version we got with the Dragon Shield Zach. At least we got a different head, so I appreciate that they went for a different look, but I don't think the execution was very good. But I'll zoom in and check that out in a minute as well. So let's take a look at the figure and then we'll go through these accessories. Taking a closer look at the helmet, I always like the design for the mammoth helmet for Zach and the Black Ranger. You can see the tusks there around the side, and then those eyes are in gold. So I like that a lot. And the paint on my figure looks very clean. With the white on black, any mistakes would be very noticeable. So the paint lines on the diamond on the front are very clean. I don't see any sloppiness at all. So I like that. Same on the back. So far, so good. Moving down to the bout. Now, the bout is a little bit inaccurate because it should really have like red and a bit more black over the gold. So they could have went for a bit more detail on the actual morpher on the bout, but this seems to be like a trend with the Mighty Morphin figures. The bouts are not exactly spot on, but if you look closely, I don't know how well it'll come across on camera, but there is some sort of resemblance of a mammoth coin in the bout. But again, it should have a bit of red, should have a bit more black in the gold. But again, it's still, as I said, you know what it is when you see it. So, and it's so small, I wouldn't notice it when it's on display anyway. So we get a harness for his weapons, which I'll show in a minute, moving down, and then the boots look clean as well. So overall, really like this Lightning Collection. It's just clean, it's just smart. These are very nice figures, and the articulation is great. You really can get them in all the poses you want to, with the butterfly joints there. You can clap. Again, the butterfly joints have a deep back, so look how far back he goes. Double jointed knees, double jointed elbows. The head looks up and down decent enough. There's an ab crunch as well of the ball and the diaphragm. So again, the Lightning Collection, when it comes to articulation, are spot on. You can't be mad. I don't know what else they could give us. Honestly, it does look, maybe his legs don't go back that much, but you try bend your legs that much farther back, it doesn't really work. So I think it's spot on. I've got no complaints in regards to Lightning Collection articulation. If all figures had as much articulation as the Lightning Collection, we'd have a very good collection. So no complaints from me. Happy with the figure. So let's check out some of his accessories. Of course, that comes with his trademark weapon, which is of course the axe. And you can see the mammoth emblem there in silver, sculpted in there very nicely. And then the yellows and the blacks, a very clean paint with a bit of chrome here on the blast. And again, this looks very nice. So as I said, it was my favorite weapon growing up, because if you move that up, it becomes the axe, which is very nice. But then of course it's a shotgun as well. You just need to load it and now you get his shotgun. So yeah, this is so good. And if you have brought all the figures from the Mighty Morphin lineup and you have all these weapons, you can actually build their combined weapon as well. All of these have the attachments to make it work. So maybe I'll show that off at the end of the video. But yes, this is a very nice looking axe. So we've got him in a gun mode. So let's put the gun mode accessory on, which is of course this blast effect, which literally just plugs onto the end there. If it will focus for me, there we go. So that plugs on there for me, not a problem, and it gives us some sort of blast effect. So we've seen this before, just like a translucent red, but we've seen it in a different color. So at least we're getting the same accessory. It's a little bit different, but this is very nice. Bit of glitter in there as well, and it does make it pop on the display if you want to get him blasting his gun. So again, or you can just reload it, and now he has an axe. So I love that element about that gun. And I just wanted to show you he can hold it with two hands very nicely. Again, you get the accessory piece on there as well for the blast effect, and you can get him all posed up on the shelf shooting his gun. Or of course you can get Zach holding it when it's in its axe mode, and that looks very nice as well. You can get both hands gripping onto the front there as well. So yeah, makes for some nice posing options. We also get his trademark blaster as well, which we've got with all of the Rangers. This is in its blaster mode, which he can fit in his hand, no problem at all. The sculpt details there of just a bit of white paint. It's nice enough. For the first time, however, out of these Mighty Morphin Rangers, we're actually getting the blaster in its dagger form. So you can see that the blaster's now folded up and it's turned into the dagger, because you can see the little silver chrome there bit at the top. So this is very nice. I've been wanting them to give us the dagger in a downward form, just so you could fill it in the holster, but I forgot all about the dagger version of the gun as well. So you actually have the blaster now, and then the blaster in its dagger form. Now we just need the blaster in its down form for the harness, and I'd be happy. But it's still nice to have these options. Zach will of course hold the blaster, no problem at all. No trigger fingers with the Power Rangers, but they're not really needed for the blaster. He hold it no problem. The hinges in the wrist do go side to side, not up and down, so you do have to sort of wiggle it to get it in a more accurate pose for him to be shooting someone in front of him. But it does work, and of course you can take the blaster off and put it in the harness for safekeeping. Now we just need the blaster in its folded form, and that would be very nice. Zach will obviously hold the dagger version of the blaster as well, but his fingers are actually too thick to go through the holes on the blaster for him to grip it. So you sort of just have to wedge his thumb in there, if you can see what I've done, for him to hold it tight without it falling off. But once you've got him posed up, it works, it does the job. But yeah, it's nice to have another option for display with these blasters. But of course, Zach's most lethal weapons in his arsenal are his fists, because you don't need weapons to beat up putties. You can do that on your own. So he does come with a set of fisted hands for just punching the bad guys if you don't want him to hold any weapons. So I like the display options. Now, this is unfortunately where our controversy lies. It's the head sculpt. Now, I love that with the Lightning Collection, we're getting these civilian unhelmeted heads for the display, because the characters behind the helmets were just as important to us as the Rangers themselves when we were growing up watching that show. So I love that we now have unhelmeted versions of these Rangers for the display. But this isn't the best representation of Zach. It is meant to be his short dreadlocks, but I don't think the execution is spot on here. The head sculpt isn't bad, like, it's just not accurate to what it's meant to portray. Now, I do see a young Zach in there, in the face scan. That's not bad. It's just the hair that's pretty bad, but neither are great, unfortunately. But I will swap on the other head sculpt in a minute that we got with the Dragon Shield. But let's just do a side by side while this is here with any images I can find of Zach with the short dreadlocks, and you tell me, is it very accurate? Does it look like Zach? As I said, it is completely up to you. Let me know in the comments. But we do have flat top Zach, and I do think this is the better head sculpt out the two, but neither of them are spot on in regards to the face scan. I just don't know what it is. It's okay, but it's just not spot on. But still, this head sculpt is better, I think, than this one. But again, it's nice that we at least got two different hairstyles. But you let me know which is better, the dreadlocks or the flat top. Very curious to know your thoughts. For our first comparison, here we have the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger compared to the Dragon Shield Black Ranger. So as you can tell, they are the same figure with a slight few changes. Obviously, he's got this Dragon Shield on, which is an overlay, but he also has the armbands in gold where you don't on this side. So a lot of impatient people customized their Dragon Shield Black Ranger, but had to either sand down or just paint the armbands black. So just think how many Dragon Shield Rangers are now ruined due to impatient people. It's crazy to me that so many of these great figures are now just been ruined and probably going to go to waste. But yeah, either or, they both look great. But you'll notice as well that the yellow on this axe has actually got another hit of yellow, so the yellow is a lot nicer than it is on here. This seems to have only got one hit of yellow, so it seems a bit green with the black in the background, but the actual axe here is a lot nicer of a yellow, so that just seems like it got another deco hit. And you'll notice as well, I said that it doesn't have any red on the bout, so you'll notice on the Dragon Shield version there is red on the actual bout buckle compared to this one. I don't know how well you can see it. Hopefully it focuses and zooms in for me, but there's definitely red there on that bout. Again, probably not focusing for me, but it's there compared to no red on that bout. So maybe you can kit bash and make your best version of the Black Ranger, but still, I'm just happy we've got Zach. How good does that team look? Now, if I could play the Mighty Morphin theme tune without getting hit with a copyright strike, trust me, I'd play it, but it's playing in my head right now as I look at these. So happy to have this team fully complete. This is what we've been waiting for, to have the Mighty Morphin team finished in Lightning Collection format. These figures are great. These are the figures I wanted as a kid, and now I have them as a full-grown man, which is crazy to think of, but trust me, they're going to be displayed on my shelf and I'm going to smile every time I look at them. This team looks great, so nostalgic, nothing but good memories, and yeah, the figures are so much fun as well. And that is just one way to display them, all posed there with their weapons and their helmets. With the Lightning Collection, we can switch it up. And before I show you the Rangers in their civilian looks, if you have all of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you have their weapons. That means you can combine them to make this blaster from the TV show. So it's very easy to do. You just clip all the weapons together and you have the actual blaster. So I love that they did that. They thought in advance and they knew that you could build this. So you actually already got one of these in the San Diego Comic-Con box set from 2019. But now we have all the single releases. You can build your own. So you have all the weapons, black, red, pink, yellow and blue, and you can build this. And it looks very nice, and any of the Rangers can hold it. And again, how good does that look? The original 5 Rangers there with their civilian heads on, the helmets are off, because these are the characters that I remember just as much as the Rangers themselves. We got Zach, Kimberly, Jason, Trini and Billy, and these will forever be the original 5, the OG Power Rangers, if you will, and it's nice to have them now represented on the shelf. So I'm going to have to buy 2 of these Lightning Collection figures so I can display one set of Rangers with the civilian heads and the other set with the helmets on, because these just look too good. So let's finish up with some nice comparisons. So here we have the Black Ranger compared to Alpha 5. And of course he needs some bad guys to fight. So here we have Rita Repulsa and a Putty, and these look great. And lastly, here we have the Black Ranger compared to the Marvel Legends Hellfire Hank. So final thoughts, I am very happy to finally complete the Mighty Morphin team lineup in Lightning Collection form, and the Black Ranger, as I said, was my personal favourite growing up, so in my opinion they saved the best till last with Zach. So I am happy to have them all, though they look great together. Honestly, if you are a Power Rangers fan, this Lightning Collection is amazing. You need to jump on board and buy your favourite team. I'm buying teams I'm not even aware of just because the figures are so cool, but it's all about Mighty Morphin for me. That Zordon era is what it's about. So Mighty Morphin, Zeo, still waiting for him to release some Turbo, but I'm even trickling into some other lines just because the figures are so much fun. But the nostalgia from the Mighty Morphin is unmatched, honestly. So happy to finally have them all. So you let me know what you think of this Power Ranger in the comments below. And do you agree with me? Is Mighty Morphin the best? I think I'm right. So let me know in the comments below. But until then, people, you know what to do. Check out the videos tab for tons of reviews. And make sure if you want to support the channel, you hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. If you want to support the channel a little bit more, you can on Patreon. Links in the description below. But until next time, people, my name is Dan W, and I will, of course, see you on the next one.